Hey everyone, the DarkMatch Dynamo is on the rise, and tonight we're all going to go to hell, presumably in a cell. This is the newest edition of the DarkMatch, talking about WWE's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. As always, I'm Christopher Says.
I'm No Leaf Clover.
And I'm the Arrow Brother. We're going to be here talking about that Hell in a Cell where John Cena goes head-to-head with two other men inside the Hell in a Cell triple threat. Never been done before. Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
And I'm your foxy friend Backlash, and I think Arrow should have gone last.
Well, I would have made him go last, but I wanted everyone to hear how sick you are.
Yes, and you know who I blame? I blame Terry Francona. Good riddance, he's fired. Yes, I'm still on this.
Well, he and Shane Douglas went to the same
quit.
school.
He actually quit, and you really shouldn't hate the guy.
I don't give a fuck. I fired him. I fired him myself.
He
quit because I told him to.
You Boston fans, you think you're in command of your team.
Because of one person end of a season. It's called being a terrible fan.
At any rate, it is time to talk about WWE's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. It was live from New Orleans. Yeah, it was live from Nolans. And, yeah, we're going to get started right away by talking about Sheamus versus Christian.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about the opening segment?
There was an opening segment?
Yeah, the show opened with Miz and Truth coming to ringside holding tickets.
That happens during their entrances.
Yeah, it comes out to... When they come through the audience, and apparently they can get front row tickets just like that.
Well, of course.
Well, we all know they were...
John Morrison is going to help them.
Well, no, then John Laurinaitis and security booted them out. And they're talking about whether they had the right to kick people out of the building who had tickets. Of course they do. But not in kayfabe, they don't. Or it's questionable in kayfabe. So, yeah. Good thing tonight's announce booth was Michael Cole, Booker T, and Jim Ross. Let me say that 3 hours of Booker T is very painful. Yeah, but now we can get to the match. I thought we just established that Miz and Truth were there before the show or in the audience.
How is it that everybody that gets kicked out of an arena just magically gets fucking front row tickets the night of the show? I mean, I know StubHub is good, but it's not that good.
No, it's not. The best that you usually can do is, like, third row.
Yeah, and like, from my perspective, people who actually buy front row tickets want to see the show, so.
Yeah.
They're not...
I don't know. I think WWE security just sucks.
It's a little of both. We find out later that it's awful.
Yeah.
And we find out that the awfulness of it might be a setup, which, like, hey, TNA did that last year, and it didn't look good as this, but here's Sheamus versus Christian, and what I called a SmackDown main event. It was a
SmackDown main event.
It was a nice exhibition, it was a
SmackDown main event with more near falls because they had more time.
Yeah, well, probably a good way to start off your pay-per-view or to adorn the undercard.
Nothing wrong with the match at all.
This is
nothing spectacular either.
This is the kind of match you need to open your pay-per-view. Not necessarily the end-all, be-all main event, but something that just gets the crowd into it and gets them hot and gets them riled up for whatever it is that's to come. Any spots worth noting, or is it just one of those shows?
Christian's two spears. One on the floor.
Out with the spear, and then also got back into the ring after spear onto the floor. So, yeah. Also note that Christian tried to win by countout.
Oh yeah, and he also tried to do a diving headbutt but missed.
Vintage Benoit.
Yeah, I wonder if anyone is going to be successful with that move. Though I think Daniel Bryan has attempted it on more than one occasion.
Yeah.
He's not Canadian. Just because he's from Washington doesn't mean it's acceptable. Only Canadians can do the diving headbutt.
I saw Twin Peaks. They're the same thing. But Sheamus, Christian's about to hit the kill switch, and Sheamus blocks it with a bro kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, solid opener. Nothing special as a match, and wasn't the best match on the show.
Nope.
Yeah, but it didn't need to.
Good.
Yeah, no, like I said, solid opener.
So, Matt Striker is interviewing Mark Henry, or trying to, and he's noticeably quite scared. He does a better job of that, in my opinion, than Josh Matthews. He just kind of goes in there as like a normal, like, hey everyone, I'm gonna talk to the World Heavyweight. But nonetheless, Henry just starts imitating his voice.
Now, this
seen the side of Mark Henry.
This was a damn good promo, just because Mark Henry actually seemed to show some enthusiasm. If he did that all the time, I might actually give a shit about Mark Henry.
Well, you mean he showed some like energy and passion? Is basically what
yes.
Also, there's a reason. Let me just kind of go off track for a second. There's a reason Josh Matthews just goes up there like he's not afraid. It's because he watched Tim White try to kill himself like 50 times. Just saying.
He's been hardened.
He's desensitized. He has no fear anymore.
He knows what's not wise.
He's been hardened, man.
It's not wise, Mr. White.
Yes. See, I've seen some fucked up shit. But,
I've seen some fucked up shit in my day. I've seen Tim White try and kill himself.
Oh, God. I just watched the top 50 OMG moments this weekend. And it had to remind me of that.
It was funny. It was still funny. But, nonetheless, Mark Henry, I mean, the only problem I have with the promo is, and this might still be a little nitpicky, is that he says, either way, Randy Orton's going to join the Hall of Fame, which he did last month, or rather 2 weeks ago.
I think the Hall of Fame is when he injures them.
But
I think that's what it is.
But didn't he? I think he said that in the the promo leading up to that and that night also. So.
Well, he wants him to join it. He's like, I'm gonna make him, but he never successfully does it. I think that's what
I thought
he's
this
trying to go
was going to be too big.
I guess they really need to, because the people that he said he's put in the Hall of Fame were Kane, Big Show, and Lawler, and they're all injured people.
Yeah.
I guess he didn't really consider Khali injured or something.
But yeah, we move straight on from there to our Sin Cara versus Sin Cara match.
Actually, correction, when he cut that promo on SmackDown, Khali was yet to be injured, so it's still accurate.
At any rate.
But yeah, they're now referring to him as Sin Cara Blue and Sin Cara Black, and they still haven't picked up.
Sometimes they refer to them as Sin Cara 1 or Sin Cara 2. They finally
they started doing that.
Vince finally settled on Sin Cara Blue or Sin Cara Black, or then they switched it to Spanish with Sin Cara Azul and Sin Cara Negro.
I don't think they actually said Sin Cara Negro. I think they just said Sin Cara Azul. But this match, it actually got off to like an okay start, and then as the match wore on, it kind of got less and less okay.
It got surprisingly slow. I mean, what you expect from Sin Cara, let alone two Sin Caras.
A shitload of pretty-looking arm drags, and
a super hip toss.
Honestly, the only thing's kind of right. Like, I didn't have a problem with that in the early junctures because what they were doing is they were essentially trying to one-up each other, like, i.e., which is the real Sin Cara, like who could do something more impressively, and that's what it seemed like. They were kind of like taking pauses and they were taking rests and then doing, okay, we're gonna do battling spots, but then they kind of just went to a fucking, we're gonna like have a fight or we're gonna have a brawl or whatever.
Yeah,
the match just didn't really click. There was just mistimed spots. The crowd was just completely out of it. They wanted nothing to do with the feud, which is really weird because Sin Cara as a character was so hot. And then you kind of bring up the mystery of both of them.
It's like I can't imagine Vince was happy about the fact that there were some noticeable boring chants. Right,
and the Sin Cara 2 or Sin Cara Black got virtually no heat from the crowd. Nobody cared. Like you said, there were noticeable boring chants. The problem here or at least that's what I'm imagining, is like you said, they were trying to one-up each other. But the thing is, instead of being like a work, like, part of the show, it was probably them trying to shoot on each other because they have legitimate heat with each other, because the storyline they're using is real because
good guy.
Because they stole
Cara.
So you actually think that there's a shoot element to it? Like you?
I do think so, and like the promo that he cut on SmackDown, while I didn't really understand most of it, I know that he said Mystico, and it's about stealing his identity.
Well,
he's stealing his identity here. So there is definitely a shoot angle about it, and I know there was legitimate heat at one point. I'm still trying to wonder if it still exists, and I'm going to guess it does.
I've heard that the problem backstage is that originally they were giving the Sin Cara gimmick to Hunico, but he wasn't doing so good in FCW, so he was being kept back. Then they signed Mystico, and he got the gimmick, and I guess that kind of generated some problems between the two, because was Mystico even in FCW for all that long?
No.
He was brought up right away.
Yeah, he's just even in FCW, so I can kind of see that being a legitimate gripe with Hunico, not thinking that he got robbed just because this hot new wrestler coming in from Mexico gets shot right to the front of the line.
No, you do know they're just from two different parts of Mexico. Hunico
I know
Mystico in Mexico, but then Mystico, Sin Cara Blue, worked in CMLL, and he worked as Mystico, and then so he became famous, and then Hunico had to change his name in Mexico to Mystico de Juarez, and then eventually to Incognito. And then he got signed in WWE, and there's some to go to FCW, and there's some speculation on whether WWE thought that this Mystico de Juarez was the Mystico from CMLL, and with all likelihood that's probably the case.
Well, there could be any number of reasons for why these two could have backstage heat, but
no, that's the reason. He's not very happy he stole his name in Mexico.
You'd think they would suck it in for the sake of professionalism, and
you would hope so.
We're talking about professional wrestling. Ego reigns supreme.
It's true, yeah. But to be clear, I was actually talking about one-upping each other in kayfabe. Like, know...
But from what I heard, there's possibly more of a shoot element to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that said, it didn't make for all that legitimate heat. Didn't make for a good match. At least, when you think back to the matches that had like legitimate heat, at least with Edge and Matt Hardy, at least they potatoed the fuck out of one another. At least they just beat the shit out of each other, even if the match quality on a technical merit, wasn't very good. At least they beat the shit out of one another. Mm-hmm. This was just kind of blah, like I said, it started off good, it started off fine, and then it just kind of got more and more kind of boring and weirdly plotting.
I did think that the finish was nifty though, because Blue Cara basically hits Black Cara with a code red.
An infrared or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. Like basically the whole leg trap sunset flip bomb.
Yeah. With a Toyota roll into an infrared.
And the way he kind of transitioned into it was just very unexpected. Beyond the fact that the guy we've never
kind of was from out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Also,
it was just like they were told to go home, and they skipped any build to it and just went home.
Yeah. Also, fuck it. Also, Mystico kind of fucking sandbagged the fuck out of Kunakara.
Was it during the kicks?
No, he sandbagged him during the setup to the infrared.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're talking about with the senton?
Yeah, well, remember how Hunakara picked him up for a powerbomb, and then that's how the infrared happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went for was Dragon Suplex went? Or he went to a full Nelson right into the powerbomb? Or am I thinking of something wrong?
Yeah, something like that. But Blue Cara pretty sandbagged Black Cara pretty fucking hard.
Also, I really hope he gets an alternate costume because I hate that fucking blue and gold pattern.
Yeah, give him the white gold. Give him the white gold.
Yeah, please.
Well, they've been teasing it with, and he was wearing.
He wore it at Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
Money in the Bank. He fucked up at Money in the Bank.
Whatever.
But the problem is, I'm pretty sure CML is trying to sue WWE for copyright infringement on something. I can't remember what it is.
Oh.
I think they're saying he's the exact same. They're suing for character rights. They're saying he's the exact same guy, like character-wise.
Lame.
I don't know how you could really get that done.
He's a man of mystery. I don't know how you really copyright that. I mean, technically, Rey Mysterio's...
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. But, yeah, past that, we move on to a segment between CM Punk and Dave Otunga where Otunga offers to represent Punk like he's from Harvard. Punk has gotten screwed. Punk says because he has his own voice, he doesn't need a lawyer. And
Punk mimicked Jim Burnett saying he doesn't want a Harvard lawyer representing him and said he hates lawyers.
Yeah. But he does love Otunga's bow tie.
Yeah, fixes it promptly.
And an interesting note, Otunga is wearing suspenders and a belt. He needs to pick one.
So is it kind of like Kelly having pockets on her little?
Yes, it is exactly like Kelly having pockets.
Because those pockets can hold a tiny cell phone.
No, they cannot.
Because Otunga is wearing a bow tie and suspenders, I have to say this. You are not Matt Smith. Stop trying to be the Doctor.
So, funny note, there was a WWE exclusive video.
Oh, wait.
And the final question on the video, like, after Otunga's like, no more questions, so the guy, like, shovels out, like, 3 more, like, is there any rumor that you're done tagging with Michael McGillicuddy, one other thing, and, like, what's with the bow tie?
Wait, I actually just realized, people, like, back to Kelly, she could keep, like, a Zoolander-sized phone in her back pocket of her trunks. But
see, told you.
People would notice. Why is there a box coming out of her ass? Is there someone wired to fucking send signals to it? What?
She's padding it
for when she does the stink face.
In Tough Enough.
Oh yes, yeah, it's like a fucking.
Yeah, she's pulling.
It's unhygienic.
Yeah,
she's pulling.
But yeah, our next match is an impromptu one, unannounced, unpromoted. Very, very smart thing.
Yes, that's a good way to run a pay-per-view.
Vintage WCW.
Air Boom versus, as it turns out, Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger, Vicky's apparent newest acquisitions.
Yes.
Are we calling them Swagler or Swigler?
I don't care. When did these two get on the same
page?
Zig Swag. That's so ridiculous. Well, I don't know if they'll go with anyone because, like, from the match, I didn't really enjoy them as a tag team.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. This was obviously just a filler match. They we need to fill time.
Yeah, day of the show.
Yeah, it may have been.
There's no real tension to it because they're not gonna double belt Dolph.
They could. They did it with Miz.
Well,
yeah, for like 5 minutes.
No, it was for quite a while. He had the U.S. title, and then he had the Show Miz.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I thought you were talking about when he won John Cena.
No. No. I go back farther than 3 months.
Well, I only have a 3-month memory, so.
Well, you're perfect for WWE.
Wait, no. Just forgive him. He's sick.
He wasn't sick 3 days ago. Moving on, folks.
Anyways, let's talk about the match.
It's, as you'd expect, like, where Ziggler and Swagger kind of isolate one member of the team. And it's Bourne, of course, because he's the smaller one, easier sympathy.
Yeah.
Several minutes getting heat on Kofi. Hot tag to Bourne. Finish sees Swagger tease a powerbomb. Powerbombing Bourne off the top rope. But Bourne turns into a Frankensteiner for the pin.
Don't call it a Hurricane Rana.
Oh.
But I will say the one thing I liked about this match is that they were wearing matching tights.
Yes.
Yeah, and they finally got some good.
And they got rid of the fucking green ones.
Yeah, it's this great electric blue type.
Now they just have to
But Kofi's tights pattern does look really weird with the dark blue and the black. It just doesn't look right.
It's better than the neon green.
I agree.
Well, not neon, forest green and purple and yellow and orangish red. And
why can't they? Yeah, why can't they go back to the Skittles Taste the Rainbow? JR would love it.
They also need to give them different entrance music, just because the combination of their two entrance music does not work.
They're completely different. We have a tropical theme and a hard rock theme.
With aviation motifs in it.
Yes, because he's an aviation nut.
Oh, Cole did say that, didn't he?
He says that all the time now, every time he's out there, because he doesn't have anything else to say. Though, fuck, what's his character? He's an aviation nut.
Wow.
He wants to live to be the longest man forever. Booker T.
Oh man,
I think that's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then they might talk about how Evan Bourne used to work for a company that dug holes for mailboxes. Like, what does that have to do with anything? It's a very important job, Cole. Okay.
But yeah, to kind of get into the reason why it was boring, again, Swagger and Ziggler, I don't think their style was really, again, like we said, it also could have been a match that was announced the night of, and
it was very haphazardly put together. They didn't even try and tease Swagger and Ziggler not getting along, so that was an interesting element to it.
Well,
and Vicky was only mad at Swagger.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he was the one who got pinned.
Right. I'm just saying. Usually, it goes. It's everyone else's fault. It was a filler match.
Yeah, it was what it was.
It wasn't exactly a squash match, but it was textbook. It was textbook tag team get heat on the face for a long time by having the heels beat him up, by having quick tags, and then basically at the hot tag go to town.
Yeah. Your winners are Air Boom, and that was pretty much that.
I think they're going to be the next Hart Dynasty.
Yeah,
in the sense that they're just going to keep the titles for a long time, and everyone's going to forget, and they're going to have
I still think, the Hart Dynasty was introduced as a tag team. These guys at least have some chance of being over as upper to lower mid carders. Lower being Evan Bourne, and they're being booked fairly strong as a tag team.
Well, but as singles guys, they're getting destroyed. I don't think either of them have.
Well, they often do that to hype up for pay-per-view matches these days.
I understand what they do it for. I understand why they do it, but I'm just saying. And then plus they say, "Oh, together we're stronger and we can't be beaten." Like a tag team. Haha.
But yeah, Hell in a Cell match is next. Our first one, the heavyweight title match, Orton versus Mark Henry.
Just when you thought there wasn't going to be a Hell in a Cell match more boring than Triple H versus Shawn Michaels at Bad Blood 2003.
Bad Blood is just a bad pay-per-view in general.
Or fucking Sheamus Orton. Well, actually,
just when you thought there wouldn't be a more boring Hell in a Cell match than Triple H versus Kevin Nash.
Wait, no, that was Bad Blood, wasn't it?
Yeah, whichever one took place at Bad Blood.
It was 2000. Yeah, forgive me. Bad Blood 2003 was Kevin Nash versus Triple H, and Bad Blood 2004 was Triple H versus Shawn Michaels.
And sad thing is, Henry really did just fine in his heel role. Bring most of the power moves, landing Orton in the cage, stuff like that.
That's the thing. Mark Henry is not an interesting wrestler, and Randy Orton is almost completely dependent on other people to make the match interesting.
Hey, sometimes he makes weird faces.
Yes, but he wasn't doing that tonight, was he?
Well, the match was booked correctly, with having Mark Henry win anyway. The finish I thought was good.
Yeah, I did too.
Was where Orton's going for the punt, then Henry gets up, he charges, and hits, Orton's winding up, he picks him up, runs in the center of the ring, World's Strongest Slam, 1, 2, 3, he retains. Unfortunately, they had to go off and protect Randy, where the cage is getting raised, he's taking his time, and then he goes out, gets the chair, tries to Pillmanize him. And then Orton gets out, and then hits Mark with the chair shot. Then Henry gets out of the ring, blocks another chair shot, runs to the back, and the announcers mentioned how he ran away, and then, of course, even in a match Randy Orton loses, it ends with his theme. That's vintage John Cena right there.
Yeah. I don't know if I had too much of a problem with that. Maybe it's just because I'm not a huge Mark Henry fan.
The thing is, I just don't like the fact that they're trying to protect Randy Orton. Randy Orton needs no protecting. John Cena needs no protecting. They are your top faces of the company. People will always love Randy Orton, and they'll always love John Cena.
Well, you see, I disagree with you there, because just look at Mark Henry and how many people he's injured over the past couple of months.
Those are key
We don't need Randy Orton on the injured reserve list. That's the last thing WWE wants right now. So, yeah, they're going to protect their assets.
No, he doesn't mean like that. He means like not in a injury sense, in a booking
status.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't mean like. Plus, most of those injuries are kayfabe.
Yeah.
Big Show is probably returning on Raw tonight.
Yeah, well, I guess I kind of see what you mean, but it didn't really bother me. It just, I'm kind of bothered by the fact that Mark Henry is just able to brush off chair shots like that. I mean, I know he's a big, but I imagine getting hit with a chair kind of hurts, even if you are that big.
Again, like I think they protected Henry as much as they protected Orton. Like he didn't get played.
He ran away.
He ran away, but so what?
Without the belt.
He ran away after he fucking dominated Randy Orton, beat him clean in the ring. And when Randy Orton was chasing him with a chair, and I don't.
Can't it just be Randy Orton doesn't just lay down. He takes the slam. We have the match. And then Mark Henry leaves, looking like a boss, and then Orton's like, oh, God. He actually shows some emotion and is, like, visibly disappointed in the ring, and then the fans clap him to the back. Why can't we do that?
Because we were gonna have a heel in at the end of the night, that's why. And there was gonna be a clusterfuck at the end, and they had to have the fans happy about one thing. That's what it was.
You don't need the fans happy. You need a reaction from the fans.
Yeah, well, that's what WWE does nowadays. They always have to have that one moment where the face prevails right before this. If you're ever wondering how to predict the main event of a show, see how the first main event goes. Because if the face, gets a 1-up on the heel, even if the face loses, chances are the heel is probably going over in the main event.
You could predict tonight's main event just from the main event on Raw last week.
Probably. But at any rate, moving on.
Mm-hmm. Del Rio segment, quick promo, but where he tells Josh Matthews that Cena and Punk are going to see a different side of him, and he'll come out of hell with the title.
But then we move on to a rather peculiar segment. I got a chuckle out of this one.
Segment of the night.
Yeah, it's Cody Rhodes coming out with his baggers.
Whoa!
Thank you. And basically, he comes out and he has a velvet bag with him, and inside is the classic Intercontinental title, the one with the white strap.
Don't forget he puts the current one in a paper bag.
The old, pyramidal design with the white strap. And, good.
I like that self-design.
I have no problem. I don't know why everyone's so hard on the current Intercontinental title design, but yeah, this is kind of cool.
I think the current Intercontinental title design is fine, but, still cool. I think it's a problem with this.
Aside from the World Heavyweight title, I think it's the most respectable-looking title they have.
Well,
yeah, definitely.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And sadly,
now it's even more respectable.
U.S. title.
Yeah.
With its point.
But then, what should happen but Johnny Ace, motherfuckers?
Yeah. It's very, very blurry status with the fans.
John Laurinaitis, Executive Vice President of Talent Relations. And Triple H has demanded you defend the title tonight in a match against this man.
Now, Bennett. Bennett, dead. That was my horrible impression of John Morrison.
You don't gotta get it. If you don't get it, figure it out.
Yes, it's John Morrison versus Cody Rhodes for the Intercontinental title. Guess who wins?
Obviously it's John Morrison because he's fighting a man in dress clothes. Right? Am I right?
Yeah, and like
he's in Gucci shoes and a $500
obviously
shirt.
Preface it from the promo just before Cody. Cody has he's in his business clothes and he complains about it even though he says he's gonna defend the belt anytime, any place.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate words.
Yeah, he's regretting that one.
But yeah, this was a TV match.
Yeah, Cody tries to lose by count out so he can what's he do? He straddles and like holds.
He humped the ring. He humped the ring post.
No, he did.
He humped it. He grabbed it and he started.
He didn't
No.
It was
He just straddled it.
He clinged to it.
Yeah, he clung to it.
He gently rubbed his
crotchal region
against the ring post. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure given the opportunity, we would all do something like that.
If a man wants to make love to a ring post, I will not judge him.
But yeah, Rhodes trying to lose by countout, which is really stupid on Morrison's part because, Rhodes is just trying to cling to the ring post. All he has to do is break the count, which he's too stupid to do.
No, actually he does do that.
No, he gets out, he's in the ring, then Cody runs out and he starts clinging to the ring post. Morrison gets out of the ring and goes over to throw him back in instead of, getting it to the 7 count, which I think it was at one point. And then he tries to get Cody off and then he just could break the count, but he doesn't.
Why do you think the logical way when you can do them the not logical way? And wait, I don't know where I was going with
Finish
this.
saw Morrison hit the Pele kick, but missed a springboard kick, and Rhodes won clean with an Oklahoma side roll.
Yeah.
We cut backstage where we found out that Triple H didn't really make the match, and then he's pissed at Laurinaitis for making a match when he told him that he's not allowed to make any more matches without his approval. And then Miz and Truth, we next find out from Laurinaitis that Miz and Truth had beaten down Bourne and R-Truth Bourne and Kingston backstage, showing Triple H can't control backstage. And Triple H said the next thing, it's Laurinaitis' ass. This is an important segment because it shows that Laurinaitis is clearly playing both sides of the fence. He's trying to say he's a company man. He's saying company man to disgruntled employees. And then he's playing Triple H. He's trying to get the heels to turn against him because he was in on that meeting with the 5, with Dolph, Vicky, Swagger, Cody, and Christian, and Otunga, I guess. And so he even told them that he's a company man and that he's with Triple H, but he's trying to be a facilitator to make sure that they're doing okay. And then he's telling Triple H that he's sorry he made a match or whatever. But Cody thinks that it's by Triple H's orders that he's having to defend the title with no notice. So that's going to make him only more mad at Triple H. So, if anything, Laurinaitis is probably going to be making his power move, and he's also probably using Miz and Truth. Like, who led him backstage? John Laurinaitis. Who, yeah.
Or it could be Vince.
Yeah, somehow.
Or it could be, the higher power. Yeah.
Or it could be Zack Ryder.
Oh, I would love it so much if it was Zack Ryder. You have no fucking idea. Don't even fucking joke about that.
Hey, he was one of the potential candidates to take over as COO.
Yeah. But, also fun fact about this segment, Alex Riley and Ezekiel Jackson are the two people to help Air Boom after they're attacked and security clears Miz and Truth off. It's the unfortunate situation of the people who got their spotlight in the mid card, just never really went past that.
Well, Alex Riley is still young. Zeke Jackson is on his last leg. So
really?
He probably got. Well, come on, he's 40 something.
He is?
Yeah.
So
I had no idea about that.
Yeah, Ahmed Johnson was in his prime in the 90s.
Yeah.
Wait. No, I think Arrow's confused. No, Zeke's not Ahmed Johnson. The only way that
they're the same person.
You know how No, the reason you can tell is because he doesn't have the knee pads. He's not wearing a bazillion knee pads.
Also, the back of Ahmed Johnson's head isn't a fucking flag hole.
Yeah, they're the same person to me.
Oh, God.
That's kind of fucking push.
Let's move on to the Divas match.
How about we don't?
Why not? Because it was good, kind of.
Well,
Huh?
yeah. All's well that ends well. That's the summation of the Divas match. I was even expecting to be a stick in the mud and thinking it would all result in too little too late, or just Kelly wins again, but all's well that ends well. I'll take it.
I thought it was stupid. I mean, there was good psychology with the mic spot in that once she used the mic shot on, once Natalya hit the mic shot on Kelly, when the ref turned around, what Natalya made sure to do was she hit the mic against the ring pad, or the ring apron a couple times to show that it was just, that's what she was doing. So it was good psychology there. She put her in, like, the, reverse Mexican surfboard.
Yeah, that was quite a submission.
Yeah. I like the submission. I like any kind of surfboard. I always find them cool to look at. But, I guess we'll probably see Beth lose the title next pay-per-view at Vengeance.
Or tonight.
Yeah, or tonight.
Tonight
I am not fucking ruling out the possibility of her just winning on Kelly winning it again on the next Raw and crying.
Right. And my favorite moments after the match, Booker T, she's crying. I wonder why that is. Michael, she won the title.
Yeah, and
she's
it's like
happy.
there was a pop or two for at the end.
Right. But Booker T is probably thinking the old adage that heels don't cry. But it doesn't really matter with the women's match, even though they love this title, even though it's so worthless.
Yeah, I mean, McCool just stated she didn't like the design.
But it's not like she's under contract or anything, and they're gonna really take out those comments on Undertaker. The guy who probably sells like 250,000 buys with just his name being.
Yeah, I don't think it would want to slip into kayfabe that until he's retiring, that Undertaker is fucking dating Michelle, married to her. Excuse me.
But at any rate, we get the promo for tonight's main event, and then we get our main event for the WWE Championship. It's Alberto Del Rio versus CM Punk versus John Cena, and this match was way better than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah. Oh my God. This was a situation of basically, hey, one good talent, good fucking match. It just so happened that the people involved dictated how it turned out.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Really good spots.
Punk deserves
Too bad Punk took most. Yeah, Punk took most.
Punk deserves a lot of credit for taking all the fucking hits he did.
Yeah, we need to start calling him CM Pincushion.
Company Man Punk.
Or CM Punching Bag.
Or CM Bump.
I mean, he took one hell of a fucking beating in this match.
You know what the sad thing is about this? He was the only one never considered to win that title.
Yeah, I think we all said, well, there was a second where I allowed myself to believe he could win, and those are the fucking seconds I live for. When WWE can actually break my fucking cynicism, that they're doing a good job.
Yeah, was that around the time that Cena got locked out?
Yeah. I was like, oh shit, Punk's gonna win.
Because although there's a high chance they're going to do it, how stupid would it be to give Del Rio the fucking belt 2 weeks after they took it off him?
So they can have Octoberto.
Octoberto.
Octoberto Del Rio.
Is that the only reason that they're doing this, though?
Yeah.
It's because they go to Mexico next week.
And there's no Ray.
Yeah, no Ray,
well, then,
but Sin Cara's going to get a huge pop.
Yeah,
well, then why the
not going to do that?
For this Sin Cara angle is because they're going to Mexico So you kept the Sin Cara angle really hot because most of the Lucha Libre Mexican wrestling fans all read dirt sheets, all hear the rumors, so they would be just so hot for this feud, as if you just kept it going one more week, get down to Mexico, have both these Sin Caras out there, and then the American fans seeing this Mexican crowd just get so heated about this feud that you see this on TV. When you see a crowd just pop for a feud on TV, you mentally get that feeling that this is a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, but that just begs the question, why the hell did he drop the belt 2 weeks ago? So Cena could have a pointless 2-week title run?
No.
And is that really good? And considering they hyped this up as record-setting, it's his, 11th time holding the title?
It was in a better night.
It was apparently a big deal.
It was to protect John Cena because they can't have him losing 3 pay-per-views in a row.
Well, then fucking screw him.
It's that kind of thing. But anyway, we should talk about how basically, after thinking about this match, I can't wait until the opening montage in Raw, like when they do like the highlight reel of every shot in this, because like one that comes to mind is one that'll come up is Punk is on the apron, Cena's by the ring post. He delivers that knee, holds him up for a bulldog, and Del Rio just like slams him into the cell wall. Like, just stuff like that happened like on so many occasions. And
Punk earned his money tonight. Don't fake. Punk earned his money. He did all the big bumps, and he was the man.
And same with Del Rio also, like. Yeah. And
ever notice how in these matches John Cena hardly ever takes the big bumps? I wonder why that is.
I mean,
he's working hurt right now.
Obvious reasons.
Is he working hurt right now? Oh, then.
He's working more hurt than they all usually work
for a while.
Like, I even thought, like, it wasn't to the point of, like, Elimination Chamber, where, although I thought that was a good match, I thought that John Cena basically did jack shit in it, and that could lend credence. This was fine. He was, I think he performed to the extent that he could have, under the constraints of them having to protect him because he sells a shitload, even though Punk sells more now. I don't know how much for the foreseeable future, but nonetheless. Fuck, what do we say about this match?
I don't know. I don't really understand anything that WWE's doing. All they had to do back at fucking Night of Champions was have Ricardo Rodriguez jump in the ring and get Del Rio disqualified. He gets to retain. Then they can book this triple threat the same exact way.
Yeah.
And then whenever you want to have Cena's next title run, then you can do it. Then you can have this record-setting title run that is supposed to be a big deal for his career.
Well,
it's supposed to be,
you do realize...
No, shut up. I'm not done yet.
Okay.
Instead, you've just got this little pathetic 2-week run in the book, and no one's going to remember this title run. No one's going to celebrate it, and it's all so underwhelming. Now I'm done. Go ahead.
A lot of people will remember this title run for being a joke, so I'm just going to point that out. 2, you also have to realize that Hell in a Cell would not have been a triple threat if John Cena did not win at Night of Champions.
Yes, it would have. If he gets DQ.
How would it have been a title?
Okay.
No.
I'm going to explain it to you. Cena wins by disqualification. Triple H says, Punk, you never got your title rematch, so you're going to have it at Hell in a Cell. Cena comes out and says, hey, wait a minute, I got screwed. I didn't deserve that. I should be in this match. And Triple H says, well, all right, you're in the match. Hell, you could have even done Punk versus Cena on Raw again, because God knows we're never going to get sick of that match.
Well, it is a really good match.
Giving it away for free is stupid.
I'm honestly more into the idea of them tag teaming like they did that a few weeks ago. I thought that was satisfying. But
So after we didn't even talk about the finish, did we?
No, we might as there is a course to the match because obviously there's a distinction between before and after Cena gets trapped.
End of the match was great. And so was the resulting chaos at the end. it was a very conservatively booked show, so when you put all this effort into the final angle, it was really great. So the finish saw, well, I guess this is events leading up to the finish, but we saw Ricardo attack the ref outside with the key. Ricardo gets the key, he opens the cage to deliver a pipe to Alberto Del Rio. Cena sees this, he attacks Berto and throws him away, and then he goes after Ricardo, but not after Ricardo passed the keys to Alberto. And then this is a very important point, because then we see John Cena give Ricardo an attitude adjustment, and then John Cena's outside the cage after because he chased Ricardo a little down the entrance ramp. So then Alberto again locks the cage door with the keys inside, and that's the apparently only set of keys. And so he's got this pipe, but and CM Punk's still laid out on the table, but he's then Berto comes to get him in the middle of the ring for the pin. He kicks out, recovers. Then they go back and forth. Punk didn't hit the GTS, but he went for it, right?
I think he hit it. Did he? No, he didn't hit it.
He hit it earlier in the match.
No, they've been trying to put the GTS over as a death blow lately, so I don't think he hit it late in the match. Probably early in the match, though.
He did about the middle
on
point.
Cena.
I was going to say, all three guys were still in the ring at this point. Anyway, he teased for it, but then Berto, he wiggles out and hits Punk in the head with a pipe, 1, 2, 3. And your winner is Alberto Del Rio, champion once again, going into Mexico most likely. And then the cage is raising, and we see two masked figures come in, or hooded figures. And it turns out it's Miz and Truth.
Yeah, honestly, to interrupt for a second, although the entire thing makes sense, and yeah, of course it's Miz and Truth. Like when I first saw him come in, I was like, oh my god, it's the Kings of Wrestling. But like,
I was hoping it could have been anyone.
Yeah, like I was hoping it was anyone else, but it had to be Miz and Truth. We can't begrudge them for that. Like,
yeah,
right? No, that's logical booking. That's fine.
Well,
something.
Yeah, but here's something that's not so logical, because they start raising the cage so that Cena can jump in the ring and then Miz and Truth can jump in, but then they bring the cage back down.
That means somebody is
hanky-panky,
controlling the cage controls. That's all it means. It's part of the conspiracy.
Well, yeah, but why doesn't Triple H just walk over to them and say, hey, raise the fucking cage or I'm going to punch you in the face?
Obviously they're not around there, and they figure that
They've established that the guy is just off the stage.
Have they?
They have. Who do you think it was?
No, after the cage lowered again, you see John Laurinaitis rush over to him, and I'm guessing he's saying, or Triple H told him to say raise the cage. He's probably saying keep it down, keep it down, keep it down, keep it down.
Or
he doesn't know this. He's too
or
stressed out.
Or maybe it's just one of those logical fallacies that don't make any sense.
Well, anyway, we see the beatdown come in, and they're beating everyone down, and then Miz and Truth beat up the ref. They beat up everyone in there, and they're doing a pretty good job.
Cameraman,
fucking indiscriminate.
Oh yeah, they even beat up the cameraman. That's right.
Like Miz and Truth are awesome. Like they're not like
they're the awesome Truth.
Yeah, like
they are not to be fucked around with.
Did not choose my, but yeah, it was pretty much like when Alex Riley became a face, and he got such a huge reaction because it was so genuine. But nonetheless, same thing.
They finally bring out bolt cutters, and to which, well, actually, 1 second.
Stop eating.
Sorry, I'm sorry. There was some fries, and I was just like, God, they look so good. My bad.
Oh, French fries, so tasty.
Yeah, I know. Anyway.
That's you. That's what it sounds like.
This whole time, JR is being the best commentator on the planet, especially wrestling related.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, son of a gun! Somebody get some bolt cutters! Somebody call the police! He's just going crazy, just doing his old JR thing, and it's great, and you're just like, God, this feels so genuine.
Yes. Something we also didn't stress enough, like his presence during the main event was
his presence throughout the whole show was great, especially the main event.
There is no way to deny that Jim Ross is not the greatest fucking commentator who ever lived. I mean, Name one guy who was better than him.
No, I'm.
As a single man, commentating, no, but I would still say the Monsoon Heenan team was better.
Well, we haven't really heard JR
as a team.
By himself anyway.
But by alone, as a just a single commentator, the only one who probably come close is Styles. But
fuck it. Again, we haven't heard JR commentate by himself. I think he could do it, and even as an ECW mark and huge.
He had to do it a couple times when Kings had like a match on the show or something like that, and he doesn't really miss a fucking beat.
So, anyways, we'll just get to this part. They eventually get into the cage, and Miz and Truth get arrested. And I know that anyone with even half a brain, when a cop tries to arrest you, you comply. But don't you just wish they had resisted just a little bit so we could see someone get tasered?
I don't know about that so much as just at least pull their arm away a little. They kind of took it in. They pretty much took their cuffs.
Yeah, I think this is good on their part, just to be like, okay, police are here, now we're done.
It's like, yeah, we came in, we raised how we left.
Yeah, it's a smart thing to do to surrender when the cops show up, but it just would have been the perfect ending to see someone get tasered at the end of it.
Like Zack Ryder acting too rowdy, and then the cops advance upon him and
are you serious, bro? And then Triple H, he is super duper angry.
He was nuts.
And he takes off his jacket, throws it to the ground, gives it an elbow drop. I'm just kidding, he didn't do that.
I would have if he did that.
Then he attacks two cuffed men. Them being Miz and Truth. Then he gets pulled away by security. I think at first notes he gets held back by Laurinaitis, but then he throws him to the ground, and then he goes at him again, and then finally gets pulled away by security. And then we end with that's pretty much ending. They go to the back.
Yeah.
Ended early, but.
Oh yeah, it ended early, but not a disappointing finish.
Yeah, not a disappointing paper.
Not a disappointing finish to a match that we really didn't have high hopes for. I think all of us pretty much thought that this was going to be just an average-ish kind of main event, but no, it was much more than that.
It was a surprisingly good pay-per-view for me. I still don't like what they're doing with the WWE title. And you know what? Here's a thought that just came to me. If they're going to Mexico, why don't you have Del Rio win it in Mexico? Yeah, I know it's going to be on. I know it's going to be on Raw, but you clearly don't give a fuck. Just do it.
Probably because they don't want to have the crowd. Oh wait, the crowd will be cheering him live on Raw anyway.
Yeah,
they're going to cheer him either way.
Yeah, it's Bizarro Land. No, that's Canada.
No, it's reverse Bizarro Land.
It's Nega.
If it was reverse Bizarro Land, then that would just make it like land.
Normal. Yeah, unless we're just not. Forget about it.
At any rate, final thoughts on the pay-per-view?
Unexpectedly well put together. Night of Champions was something of a mishmash in terms of booking decisions. Some good, some bad. This was pretty damn good across the board.
Yeah, this was conservatively booked. But I enjoyed it. Good, not great.
Yeah, and also because just to add something, the matches were all well booked. A few of them should have been promoted. That would have made it more than good, probably.
Well, we had two unpromoted matches. I think the tag match definitely should have been promoted. IC match, perfectly fine with it being how it was.
Well, you know what I fucking want to know? Why didn't Cody debut that belt at Night of Champions with paid heads?
At Night of Champions, did somebody have a rematch at that point, or no?
I don't remember.
He had his match against Ted DiBiase. That's why no one
yes.
Yeah, that was a bad match.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good.
They didn't try to hide that he didn't pull John Morrison's title.
Nobody cared. Yeah. I mean, if they had an unannounced match and Cody had no knowledge of whoever was coming out, and then they just said John Morrison, he must have just been like, yes.
I love how The fact that Cody's champion, though, means that they recognize the belt. They recognize the new design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New old design.
He's a pretty solid champion at this point. He's had 3 title defenses in the span of 7 days. 6 days, actually. And so, right now, Laurinaitis is through Triple H, but not really, but saying he is through Triple H, is making Cody's life a living hell. So that's only going to throw fuel on the fire for the quote-unquote disgruntled 5.
Yep.
And so Christian's going to be angry he lost to a drunken Irish braggart. And then Otunga's going to probably bring up some bullshit legalese.
Who the fuck knows? He might have something to do with the bigger fucking conspiracy, but...
A-list attorney is an A-list idea.
Objection.
At any rate, it's now time for our favorite game. What got more screen time than Zack Ryder?
Yoshitatsu.
No, Zack Ryder.
Actually, I was thinking, what gets more screen time than Mike McGillicuddy?
Well, see, we liked...
doesn't get more
we
screen
like
time
Zack
than
Ryder.
McGillicuddy.
Everything. Because they're trying to repackage him by taking
All right,
him for like a month and a half.
Yeah, they might try to shave his head.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Mark. I'm gonna say Mark Henry being interesting gets more screen time than Zack Ryder.
Ooh, that's gonna affect the belief.
One thing we didn't talk about, and I'll touch upon this, is Mark Henry quoting Pulp Fiction for their next pay-per-view gets more screen time.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yoshitatsu.
And you will see my name is the Lord. No, he didn't say that.
They already had Booker T do that for WrestleMania 21, though.
They already had
that's right. Yeah, they did do that.
They already had Kane do it, only a bit more subtly for his promos, and I didn't even think that was subtle.
Devil's favorite demon.
Great vengeance and furious anger, he said.
But then again, it's just technically quoting the Bible.
It's probably Triple H's idea. He's usually the one that brings he had that Gran Torino quote that he used.
Get off my lawn.
When we read that.
Let's see, what got more screen time than Yoshitatsu? Beth Phoenix finally fucking beaten Kelly for the title, which he should have done like 3 months ago, got more screen time than fucking Yoshitatsu. And thank God for it.
I got one that you didn't even pick up last night. Booker T saying shit.
Yes!
On tonight's podcast.
I was going to remind you.
How did we forget to mention that?
I remembered about that by the time we were talking about the main event, but then I forgot again.
During the Cody Rhodes segment where he was in the match, he accidentally left when they were talking about, when Cole was talking about how he has to defend the title unexpectedly and in street clothes and in his expensive suit. Booker T says, that shit doesn't matter, or what you're wearing and that shit doesn't matter. So hopefully we won't get to see future endeavored Booker T.
No,
because it was on pay-per-view.
It'll be Botchamania, though.
Oh,
What's the gimmick they do when they do that? Oh shit! That's another lawsuit.
Insane Black Snoke.
Name.
At any rate, ladies and gentlemen, that's been the Dark Match.
Yep.
I am No Leaf Clover.
I'm Christopher Says.
I am your foxy friend Backlash.
And I felt like I was skipped over. Oh yeah, that was Hell in a Cell. He went to hell.
Oh God!
Cream of
Stop!
rose to the top.
Stop!
Just combining promos now, aren't you?
Good night, everybody, and Kate.
Good night and good luck.
Go Hulk Hogan.
What? Stop it!
The blood red moon.
You probably should have been doing the Warrior tweets.